My name is Alex Peltier, like introduced. I actually haven't got a slide about myself, so I'll just give a bit of a spiel. I'm VP of Engineering at Signapse. I've been there for just over a year now. So Signapse is an AI company. And before you go, not another AI company, I promise I'm not going to talk about agentic AI. I'm purely talking about how AI can be used for good and how it can kind of improve the lives of people in this country and around the world. So if you take one thing from my talk today, it'll be how can we use AI to make everyone's lives better? So before I begin, I'll just introduce you to my co-host. This is Ray, and Ray is our AI-generated sign language avatar. So all the videos of Ray that you'll see today are all gone through our AI system. So she gives you like a nice introduction. So let's go. A bit about Signapse. We've been going for just over 2 years now. Our mission is to really make the world more accessible, in a nutshell. So to take all the digital content in the world and make it accessible for people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or sign language users. Because of that, we have some ethics. So 50% of our company are deaf individuals, so we're very much deaf-led. It's not a case of, I'm a hearing person, I'm going to put on my ideas of what the deaf community should be. We very much talk with the deaf community and take their steer on kind of everything that they want. I'm a nerd. I love facts. So there's some statistics here. There are 70 million deaf people globally. The average reading age of somebody who is deaf is between 5 and 8 years old. So one of the things we get all the time is, why can't they use captions? Well, it's like speaking a different language, basically. It's very hard for complex topics to be conveyed via captions to people who are deaf. There are more than 1 million people who use American and British Sign Language as their first native language. So that would be the equivalent of me watching a Spanish sitcom and not really understanding what's going on as an English speaker. Some more facts. There's one interpreter for every 300 deaf people. So you can see the kind of the crux of the problem we're trying to solve here. There's a world where communication isn't being passed across natively, and there aren't people available to interpret it. And that's not the fault of the interpreters, it's not the fault of the community. There just aren't enough sign language interpreters out there. Companies with disability inclusion employment strategies have 30% better profits. So that's a good argument. We should all be hiring diverse workforces. We should be all hiring workforces with different opinions, different views, different life experiences. And we should be making our companies accessible for these people. So where sign language fits in with this is we offer mass market accessibility. We're not replacing interpreters, and we're not trying to put our stamp on the deaf community. Where we see ourselves fitting in is there's only one interpreter for 300 deaf staff. Everything should be interpretable. So we want to fill the gap and free up the interpreters to do the important things like go to court cases, be at the birth of your baby, those kind of things. So what have we done? As mentioned before, we have created the world's first photorealistic digital signer. I stole this from the sales deck. I had a little chuckle at the generic member of the deaf community quote. I'm assuming it's true. So this is Ray. As I mentioned before, Ray is generated through a GAN model, which is a generative AI model used for generating videos. And how does it work? Everything starts with text. So we take English, and we run it for a large language model, and we break that down into sign language grammar. So just show our hands. Who's aware? Who knows how sign language works? Who's familiar with sign language? A few. So if you don't know, sign language has a completely different grammatical structure to spoken English. So in this case, what is your name is actually name you what. So the grammar is completely different. There's also lots of nuances around kind of things called placement, where the direction of your hands enters kind of what you're doing. So to go and to go and to go are all different things. It depends on the signs you're doing. Also, face movement is really important. So the expressions you're pulling. So we take the text, we turn it into gloss, and we take the gloss and we turn it into video. And once it's been through, you end up with something like this. So name, you, what? Okay. Again, name, you, what? So it's been through a large language model, goes into our own custom AI models, and we generate that. So that's all well and good. I'm very lucky. I have a great job because I get to basically take the research that we've created and turn it into products. So last year, September, we launched Sign Studio, which is a SaaS platform where you can go and upload any video, any Word text document, any audio file, and get it translated into sign language. We have 3 options for that. We have instant AI coming soon. We have AI with a human checking it, good for medical information or anything sensitive. And we offer human translation too. So for those really sensitive things where you want to guarantee you're conveying the right message, human translation fits the gap there. Then January this year, we thought, why don't we just give it a go and try and do unconstrained translation? Which, for those of you who don't know, unconstrained translation is this idea that we translate anything. No matter what you give us, we can translate it. And yes, the grammar might not be perfect, but we're offering a translation, and some translation is better than no translation. So we launched SignStream in February this year. And SignStream is an API, is a REST API and a WebSocket, and it will take any text, audio, or video, and it will give you a translation back in kind of real time. We're about 10 seconds at the moment. We want to get it down to 7 seconds by the end of the year, and then sub-second next year. So SignStream is great because it's sector agnostic. It can translate anything at any time. So we've seen people use it at websites. We've seen people use it in chat apps. The Environment Agency using it to translate freedom of information requests. A very popular company with a big red N used it to translate a live WWE event. And we use it for live events too, like this. We would have Ray on the screen translating in real time what I am saying on the stage, which is very, very cool. And again, going back to those statistics, not every interpreter can be at live events, so we want to make sure it's accessible for everybody. So how does that work? It's serverless. Let's ignore the elephant in the room, which is this Kubernetes cluster. We need to do some hardcore encoding of videos to get HLS streams working. We'll gloss over that. So we have a REST and a WebSocket. Customers can choose which one they want to use, but essentially it's the same. It's one code base, 2 Lambda functions, kind of ingesting. We pump everything into a Kinesis stream, and then we go to another Lambda, which basically does that text-to-gloss step. It calls either Bedrock or an external LLM. We vary them all the time. At the moment, we're using Google Gemini, and we train that with lots of data that we've collected, and we use a bit of reinforcement learning. And we generate the glosses. Those glosses are then used with SageMaker and another Lambda. So SageMaker will generate, using GPUs, segments of video clips, and the Lambda will stitch them together with FFmpeg. I get told all the time that you can't run FFmpeg in a Lambda, and you 100% can with a Docker container or a Lambda layer. It actually works really, really well. So we have that kind of constant streaming going all the time throughout the sentence. And then we send it to an encoder, store in S3, and stream that back to the end user. So we can also do it in MP4s or various different formats. So that's for text. Where it gets a bit more complicated is for video and audio. So take a live event, for instance. We would plug into the AV panel in the corner, and they would stream over RTMP or HLS or SRT, various streaming protocols, to AWS Media Live. Media Live can store those video chunks in S3, and S3 can trigger our SignStream API again. With a different handler in the code, we basically detect there's a video ingest, and we use AWS Transcribe's live streaming feature to turn that audio, for even the video and the audio clips, into text which we then use for the rest of the process. So again, from the text, that live kind of continuous stream going on, we send it through Kinesis, turn it into gloss, generate the videos, encode it, and stream it back in about 10 seconds to the end user. So that's one part. We have two ways of returning videos to the end user. We can do signer only, which works great for live events. Or if you're streaming it, you don't want a signer on the side. You want a picture-in-picture view, which you'll probably see from like the BBC, or it's where you have the signer in the bottom left-hand corner. So how do we do that in real time? We use Media Convert, which is another AWS Elemental feature. Media Convert has this really nice functionality, which was originally designed for advertising in real time, but we use it to basically overlay two videos on top of each other. So we stream the source video from Media Live and our generated AI video into Media Convert, overlay the two videos and re-encode them back into HLS stream and then back onto the end user via CloudFront or wherever they kind of want to see. Similar approach for the signer only, except we just don't overlay it. One really neat thing that we've got here is we've now started caching our manifests in but who here works in media and entertainment or is aware of how media and entertainment works? Okay, no one. Great. So HLS streaming is essentially, it runs off manifests. So you create a YAML file or an M3 U8 file, and it basically says, play this video at this time in this order. It was created by Apple, but it's kind of become the de facto standard now. These manifest files traditionally are written to disk and then upload to S3. It takes ages to do. But what most people are doing now is you store them in Redis, and then you use a Lambda Edge on CloudFront to basically render that manifest file in real time. It means you can cut down on all the disk writing, and you can stream that back even faster. So we only do this for signer only at the moment, but soon, once we get the picture-in-picture stuff finalized, we'll do the same there as well, which works really nicely. One critical mistake that we made super early on is GPUs are very expensive, and every single time someone was sending a clip to us, we were regenerating the videos. We cached them in the actual AI model, but we're still regenerating it. So we very, very quickly had a large GPU bill. Some of the talks earlier on cost, I had our CEO and CFO on the phone demanding why our AWS bill had tripled overnight because people were using our API. So now, instead of running it through every time, each block of text that comes through, we hash it. We store that hash in Redis. Every time that clip comes through again, so it's a text, right? So if my name is Alex, we would store that hash in Redis. If my name is Alex comes through again from somebody else, we know that hash exists. We point to a reference to the file in S3, and we just return that straight back to the user. Nowhere near our AI models. Keeps the AI models free, keeps the cost low, and keeps it quick and fast for the end user as well. So it's a win-win for everybody, really. At Signapse, we focus on translation. We are by no means experts in media. We're no way experts in website design. We do translations. So we have a lot of partnerships, and if you have a product that you think will benefit from having sign language involved in it, please come and talk to me after the talk, because we are constantly looking for partnerships. So one partnership we've got is with a company in the States called SyncWords. They are specialists in subtitling, dubbing, live events, live syncing everything together. So recently we did a POC with them for a live event where basically they use an SRT, which is a secure transport stream. They ingest from the live event the audio, they send that audio to us, and we return to them TS segments, which are like really tiny MP4 files, like kilobit files. normally around 2 to 5 seconds in length. So we return them back to them in real time. They sync the two videos together and they return it back to the end user. So that's one great example of where we would rather work with a partner who has the expertise in this space, and we just do our bit really, really well, than trying to kind of reinvent the wheel. So we can do live events. If you came to us and asked for a live event, we would probably point you to a partner like SyncWords. We have quite a few now that kind of do similar things. But at the end of the day, from our point of view, so long as somebody is getting a translation, that's good quality. That's the main thing. We don't want to kind of be a jack of all trades. So how does that kind of look in the end? This is a video we did recently for the International Broadcasting Conference in Amsterdam. I won't play it all because it's quite long, but you'll be able to see kind of how the end video looks. This is a picture-in-picture output, and you'll be able to kind of see there is a natural delay.
Robinson in lane 8 on the outside, and this incredibly famous historic track, but one of which the outside lanes definitely have a bit of an advantage in the 400 meters. So Robinson with a 44.15 clocking is set fair here in terms of his opportunity to try and cause the upset. As Dos Santos, he's not that cold. That's what he always does on the start line. With heat, no.
I'll skip ahead to where the action starts. So you might have noticed there was a bit of a delay there. Naturally, in sign language, even when it's human translation, there's about a 3-second delay. And that's acceptable to the deaf community. Obviously, we want to get that down as much as possible, but 3 to 5 seconds being the delay is good. So let's see how it looks when we kind of have lots of fast-moving commentary and how it kind of all keeps up together.
And this Staggle in mind and put it close to the top 3. But it's Dos Santos going well, and then Bassett trying it from back 8. Casatina's still there. There's 5 see Dos Santos with Robertson on it. And Dos Santos is down in the tire. Bassett is trying to get that. Robertson coming back. It's going to be back. Santos threw himself across the line. He had.
So that was obviously very fast moving commentary for sport. This is the area where we're trying to move into. Although the syncing is not perfect, it at least offers an experience to the deaf individual that they can understand what is going on, where the person is, and how they're kind of interacting with it as we go. Next steps for us is to add a bit more enthusiasm and excitement into those kind of signing. As I mentioned before, sign language is very much a physical 3D experience. There's lots of things called NMFs, which are non-manual features, which where you don't actually speak, you don't use your lips. It's all about expression. We're going to get that into the models at some point too. So really kind of bring the end user along to feel the excitement of that live track and sports day. I promised a live demo. We'll see how this works. So we, being an AI company, we made a chat app. It's free. Go to ai.signapse.com and make an account, and you'll be able to put in any text. I think you get like 100 words a month or something like that. And basically have a play around with the models and see what you can do. Because it's a live demo, I pre-cached one. So we can basically put in some text, goes off and does its thing. And we should, in a couple of seconds, hopefully. I checked it worked earlier. It's probably not going to work now. Yeah, we get back a translation as an MP4 of it. So here we go. I said, let's make the world a bit more accessible. And we go, world, make accessible. So that is what we do in a nutshell. We're always looking for use cases. Like I said at the beginning of the talk, think how you can make your products more accessible. We do websites, we do post-production video, we do transportation. We've just gone live at Cardiff train station. So if you're catching the train back today, have a look out for our sign language and see if you can work out what platform we're going to and what's going on. Transportation is a notoriously stressful environment for deaf individuals. So, like I said, if you have any questions or want to talk to me after, I'm here all day. If not, that's my LinkedIn, and that's the QR code to our public demo site. It's free. I promise we don't harvest your data. Just give it a go. Give us some feedback. We want to make this a thing that's going to be around forever and use AI for good. So thank you very much.